Hi Galapagos families. It's Friday, March 13th, and I wanted to make a short video here to explain to you the situation we are in currently because of COVID-19 and what our options are moving forward. And I wanted to explain each of those options just before you had a chance to vote for what your choice is. So please listen carefully, and before you vote, if you have any questions whatsoever, don't feel like you can't reach out to me because I'm available to you. So first I wanted to let you know that yes, in fact, it is absolutely true that our trip to the Galapagos for Spring Break 2020 has been canceled. It was canceled by JCPS when they ended all out-of-state travel for students and employees. Some of us had been discussing the possibility of making this a non-school sanctioned trip and seeing if we could still go anyway. However, if you saw President Trump's press conference on Wednesday night, you know that he has raised the entire world to a level 3 threat through the end of April, which means that EF Tours is not sending any student anywhere until May 1st at the earliest. So even if we were able to make our trip non-school sanctioned, we still would not be able to go over spring break because of the raised level of threat that President Trump had set. The next thing I wanted to address was the question regarding the Global Travel Protection Program, an insurance policy that a lot of you did purchase for this trip. I read the policy details myself, and I followed up with our regional director at EF Tours just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. But this insurance policy does not cover cancellation for world events. What it does cover is cancellation in the case of a major hospitalization or a surgery or a death in the family. It does not, unfortunately, cover world events that force the trip to be canceled. So you will not be able to make an insurance claim on this, unfortunately. So with that being said, what are our options? Our options are to enact the peace of mind policy, and with the special circumstance of COVID-19, EF Tours is offering the following options. We can move our tour to any time between July 1st, 2020 and December 31st, 2020 at no additional charge, even though it's usually more expensive to travel during the summertime. We can move our tour to any time in 2021. However, travelers would be responsible for any applicable increase to the tour price for 2021. And the last option is to request a future travel voucher for every single one of our participants on the tour. So I wanted to discuss the various options in detail. First, postponing the tour. I know that many of our students were looking forward specifically to this trip and to this itinerary because travel to the Galapagos Islands is so special and it's so unique and it's so rare. For those reasons, I think that postponing our tour is probably the best option. And I'm willing to rework my own personal travel plans over the summer to make that an option for our students. I'm offering 3 dates for that option, knowing in advance that there is no way I can possibly accommodate everyone's schedules, but hopefully there will be an option that will work for you. The first option is to move our trip to sometime in July, like around the week of July 13th of this summer, 2020. Understanding that with summer travel, EF doesn't guarantee a specific departure date, but they give us a travel window. So they would try to get us close to possible as departing on July 13th, but it could be plus or minus 2 or 3 days. My second option would be for the week of July 12th, 2021. So that's pushing us off quite a distance, but that could also possibly work. Now, I do like the ideas of the summer dates because the summer dates will, I believe, mostly work for our graduating seniors. The third option is to move the tour to spring break of next year, JCPS's spring break next year. The JCPS spring break does not align with the college and university spring break, so our graduating seniors would not be able to join us if we did choose to move to spring break. Furthermore, next year's JCPS spring break conflicts with both the Easter and Passover holidays. So that's not going to be great for a lot of families, and I realize that in advance. One of the reasons I was delayed in getting this information to you is I wanted to make sure I was offering you some good options of possible alternative dates that would be feasible and actually be able to follow through with them. So yesterday I actually had the opportunity to speak to Dr. Marty Polio, and I asked him myself if he thought that July of this summer would be too soon to be looking at a postponement date, or if he thought that that was a reasonable date to kind of target. And he did tell me that while he cannot make any promises because we don't know exactly what this virus is going to do or what it's going to look like as we approach the warmer summer months, but he said that he felt pretty comfortable that that would be a pretty safe bet for us. So that's why I was kind of waiting, and I also want you to know that hearing it from him that he feels like July could be a good option for us makes me confident to offer that as an option to you as well. Okay, so our second option, if we decide that postponing the tour does not work for us, is to request the future travel vouchers. So the vouchers, EF just came out with this actually. Originally, they were going to give you the full amount that you paid minus the non-refundables and have it be used by September 30th of 2021. They did update it as of today, and the vouchers will include all the money you paid, including the non-refundables, and you will have until September 30th, 2022 to use them. Vouchers can be used in any one of EF's product lines. They do have multiple products. The educational tours part of it with high school and middle school programs is just one kind of division of the company. So there are a lot of different ways that you could use it. And they can also be transferable and used for other family members or even resold to other members of the community. You would absolutely be able to use these travel vouchers on future tours that I have planned. Right now we have Spain and Portugal going out next June, and then we are looking at Peru and Machu Picchu for spring break of 2022. So that would work also in the deadline of using it before September 30th of 2022. So that's kind of an explanation of the travel vouchers. It is not cash money in your pocket. It is a gift certificate essentially for future use for future travel. I will tell you that my preference is that we postpone the tour until July of 2020. I'm not asking you to agree with me or try to sway your vote, but I do want to explain to you why that is my preference. I believe that that is going to be the best option to allow our graduating seniors to still participate before they actually begin their college courses. And that way they don't have to come back after their freshman year of college to travel with their high school, which we would welcome them to do, but could be a little bit awkward for them. I know that that date might pose a challenge for some of you because you may already have some other things scheduled. I also have a summer trip to California in July with my family that has been booked for a while, and I would have to cancel that and not go on a family trip so that I could lead the trip to the Galapagos. And I'm not saying that to try and get any sort of accolades or anything for it. That's not the point. The point is that I think that it's worth the sacrifice because this is a special trip, because it is a special itinerary, because these kids are really special to me and they deserve to have the opportunity. And I do think that the sacrifice in the end is worth it. And I would have to ask you that, if you have something already planned that can be moved around just a little bit, or maybe you can send your kid with me while you're doing something else, and so they don't have to miss out on the opportunity, I would ask you to strongly consider doing that because it will be a tremendous impact in their life. And I would just ask that you remember back to the meeting we had when we signed up, and you saw this slide talking about why we travel. And remember all the things we talked about. How travel sparks a sense of confidence in students, that they get this sense of being able to take on the world and accomplish anything that they set their minds to, that it really brings to life what they've been learning. And trust me, they've been learning a lot about Ecuador and the Galapagos with me in the classes. It gives them this global perspective and helps them become global citizens, which is going to help them a lot in this global economy, in this new era of the internet and globalization. And more than anything else is just the personal growth and development that they will experience. They are going to be in situations that are uncomfortable and they're going to be experiencing discomfort, and through it all, they're going to make it, and they're going to be so proud of themselves for having the experience and growing and learning from it. And really, truly, my husband said this quote, and I love it because I always use it, but these kids are going to grow up 2 or 3 years worth of maturity and emotional development in 1 week. And for me, that's worth it. And that's worth all the sacrifice that you have to make it happen for them. So that's what I would just say as you're considering what your options are and what you want to do. Keep that in mind about why you wanted this for them to begin with, because those reasons are probably still the same and maybe more now than ever before. At the end of your vote, I am going to ask you to explain to me your reasoning. I've had an opportunity through this video to explain my reasoning to you, and I feel it's quite important for me to understand where you're coming from as well. I know that I'm not going to be able to make everyone happy. I know that I'm not going to be able to accommodate everyone, but I want to do the absolute best that I can and make the best choice for the majority of our families and our students. And I want to have a good understanding of where you're coming from when you're making your decisions as well. I apologize for the length of this video. Just consider this a virtual meeting. I would have had an in-person meeting to discuss this with you, but obviously given the current situation and the current culture and climate, that's not an option. So I hope that you found this to be informative. I hope that I have proven to be transparent in my thinking and my decision making, and I appreciate your all's trust in me and your willingness to show your students the world. And if you have any questions or concerns, please, please, please call me, email me, text me, reach out. I'm here for you. Thanks.